Hi, this is Like-Minded Leadership, and I am that leadership guy. And today we're going to talk about the chess methodology surrounding organizational behavior and organizational leadership. So if you're unfamiliar with any of my video content, I like to talk about some of these methodologies surrounding leadership. You can check out some of my other video on my subscribed page. And of course, if you like what you're seeing here today, you can always hit that like button and subscribe as well to get all of the updated content. All right, so we're going to jump right into this. The chess methodology is really a concept that I've really had in my brain for a long time, and I've written it down. And but I thought I'd make a short video on it just to give a high level overview. And basically, what it is understanding where you're at in your leadership level in your organization and how you can be most effective. Now, a lot of times people think of chess and you're like, oh, well, you're just moving one chess piece at a time. But when you're playing the next couple of moves. And so in an organization, you have different levels of leadership, and each different level is playing the same chess game, but they're playing it at different levels. So you have your first level, and I'm going to kind of outline this a little bit here. You have your first level, which is your operations level. So we'll say level one. Here's your operations level. And they're really the day-to-day. They're the foundation of your organization. They're constantly moving the pieces forward, keeping the lights on, getting things done, working with customers or whatever your business is. And they're one chess piece at a time. And then you're going to have your 2 to 3 chess piece movers. These are the people that are thinking about what these people are doing down here. And they're thinking about, okay, what's the second or third chess piece move? What are these people doing that are impacting these moves? And these are more of your mid-level managers. Because in chess, when you make a move, you're always thinking about, man, okay, what's that third move? What's the opponent doing? And we have to remember that our opponents in our case in the business world is anything and everybody. It's our customers, it's the economical state of whatever's going on, it's the pandemic. All those things are always in constant flux, which are requiring us to change how we play our business game. And then we have another level, which is our fourth and fifth chess piece moves. And these are what I'm going to call, our senior level leaders, or, our C-suite, our CEOs, et cetera, et cetera. So these are really the different levels. And again, we have our operational folks, we have our mid-level managers really working with our operational teams to understand that second and third move. And then we have our strategic planning and our goal, really moving those organizations further along. So I want to talk a lot about where I see organizations kind of stumble a little bit when it comes to the different levels of leadership. And what really happens is, again, drawing out our pieces here, is that these different levels are spending a lot of time playing in spaces where they're not being effective based on their different levels of leadership. And what that means is that, so you have your mid-level manager here, and what they're doing is they're coming down here and they're spending a lot of time in this space. And that's creating dysfunction because they're coming down here and trying to micromanage this group of people. And what they should be doing is coming down here and coming right back up and doing the check. The check mark method, which I also talk about in another video that'll be further below on this link. But that check mark method is so valuable to make sure that this pattern of micromanaging and microscope style management doesn't happen, which again leads to that dysfunction and distrust, because these people feel, this group down here, it's going, oh, you know what, my manager's always stepping in, always doing my job, always giving me the exact detailed direction. They aren't letting me breathe. They aren't letting me do the job that they hired me for. And then eventually they might leave because of too much over management. And the same thing can happen in this level. and your strategic planning and goal level folks. They're coming down here and living in this middle management space, or even worse, they're coming all the way down here and trying to live in that operational space as well, which is really detrimental. When the senior leadership team comes all the way down to the organizational level, the operational level, and really tries to micromanage or impact on day-to-day operations at that level. So we need to be really careful, and we need to make sure that we're coming down here, doing our check-in, and then coming back out to do our jobs. And the reason why that is, again, those check-ins are so very important is for a lot of reasons. First, like I said before, it's not creating that dysfunction and distrust. Secondly, and if you think about it, if you're mid-level manager and you're trying to lead the organization, with your projects and, creating efficiencies or whatever you're doing, if you come down here and live in this space doing these folks' jobs, no one is then doing this job, which then may force these people to come down here and step in and do that job, which then, hey, guess what? No one is then doing this job. And that's all it really takes to create an organization that really isn't going anywhere. Because if no one is doing this job because people are trying to do this job because people are doing this job, then the organization that you're working for isn't adjusting their fourth and fifth move, which means that long-term strategy goals or the direction organization is heading in doesn't ebb and flow and change with what's going on, with the economy globally, whatever changes are impacting your organization aren't being monitored by this group. They aren't effectively able to do their job, which again trickles all the way down and affects the entire organization. So again, we need to be really careful. And when we step down and do some of these availabilities. So another question that I get a lot is, well, I'm a small business, and when I say small business, if you're a small business owner and you have 1 to 3 employees, you are doing all the chess piece. You're playing the entire game pretty much with yourself and those employees. And you know what? I give a ton of credit to small businesses because it is all the chess pieces all the time. So when you're in a small business, more of, when you have maybe like 15 to 25 employees, I get a lot of, well, I have a lot of operational people. And then there's a lot of this. And again, going back and you're that owner or you're that CEO of that small company, you're always in this level and this level right here. And it's hard to find this level because of the resource limitations. I can't afford what the Google search has said, I need to pay this mid-level manager. So my comment to that is, okay, so you have this operational team of 10 to 15 employees, and here's maybe 1 or 2 of the owners or those people, and they're trying to do that and they're trying to do this level at the same time, and it's not really being effective. And again, going back to, man, I can't afford these people. Well, if you've identified people at this level that could do this job, then it's time to have a really honest and heart-to-heart conversation with whomever you've identified in this group that can do this job up here, and say to them, listen, you know what? Our goal is to go from 10,000 customers to 20,000 customers. At this point in time, the business can't afford to pay you top dollar for this mid-level manager. But what I can do is I can give you a small bump. I know that you can do this position. I know you can do it well. You can lead us. You can help lead our organization to this 20,000 customers or whatever your goal is. And then once you've reached it, pay them what their salary is equivalent to, or whatever other compensation is needed. You would be surprised how many people at this operational level are ready to take that step. And a lot of them will do it for the experience. I know right now the salary budget in 2022, all last year, 2021, we saw a huge, everybody wants these really gigantic salaries, especially for this level, especially for really unique, specifications in the technology world, programmers, digital content creators, etc. it will eventually level out. This bubble, this massive salary bubble will eventually burst, and we will go and level out back to more, reasonable requests. But like I said, a lot of these folks down here, all they're waiting for is their chance to be at this level. And yes, you run the risk of maybe them being only at that level for a short term while they gain the experience of going somewhere else. But for that 2 to 3 to 5 year time frame that they're doing this and rocking that out, your organization overall will be so much better. And that can be applied to really any organization of any size. So anyway, the chess piece method, or the chess piece method is just, again, it's a great way to look at that, creating that awareness to make sure that, at these different levels, that you're not spending too much time outside of your scope. That's going to be detrimental to the organization. And then the reverse part of that is that if you're in any of these levels and you don't feel that, or maybe you do feel that you're being micromanaged, where, this group is spending a lot of time down here or this down here, then what you can do is check out my check mark methodology and come to them with the proposal and go. It's a great opportunity to lead up. And I do talk about leading up in some other videos, which will be posted shortly, about ways to lead up and broaching that conversation. But if you do feel micromanaged, come back up to these two teams with a proposal that says, listen, I know we've got a lot going on in our organization, and I definitely love that you're involved, and I value everything, but why don't we get into, and draw it out for them, why don't we get into this check mark method? During these check mark areas, what do you want to see at this level to make you feel comfortable to go on the upward slope back up, and they can do their position? They will thank you so much more. If they are truly an inspired, like-minded leader, they'll be like, awesome, let's figure out how we can do this and work together. And if you're seeing a lot of this at this level up here, if you're not seeing this check-in and you're seeing micromanagement, then it's probably time for a leadership change. And that's okay. And we talk about leadership change in some other content as well, and just the importance of recognizing, when leaders are no longer effective, when people are just in coast mode. And, sometimes after a decent period of time, when organizations aren't moving forward, the only thing to do is to really change that leadership up, and figure out, what else needs to change based on some fresh eyes. So anyway, I really do like this methodology. I try to bring it into my organizations is whenever I can, allowing, the folks that I've worked with in the past to excel in what we do. As organizations, as a whole, we have to look at the concept that, we pay these people their salaries, and we pay them to do their jobs. And the only way we can allow them to do their jobs is to check in and check back out, to make sure that they have, the agility and the freedom to do their jobs well. Nobody wants to be micromanaged. So anyway, I hope this was some great content. Again, if you'd like to hear more about this stuff, definitely smash up that like button, and subscribe to hear some more content. Other than that, man, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.